It's a cold morning in Paris, 1314. A man in chains is pushed through a crowd. No armor, no sword, just a rough tunic and shaven hair. In front of him, a wooden stake. At the bottom, a pile of dry logs ready to burn. His name is Jacques de Molay, the last Grand Master of the Knights Templar. As they tie him to the stake, one question hangs in the air. How did a tiny group of broke knights become so powerful that a king decided the only solution was to burn them out of history? To understand that, we have to rewind almost 200 years. Early 1100s. The Crusades have ripped the Holy Land apart. Jerusalem is now the dream destination for Christian pilgrims from all over Europe. But getting there is a nightmare. Imagine you're one of those pilgrims. You've sold your land. You've said goodbye to everyone you love. You're walking for months with all your valuables either on your belt or in a small bag. Ahead of you, long, empty roads. No police, no cameras, no safe hotels. Somewhere out there, people are watching. Bandits, mercenaries, desperate men with nothing to lose. If they get to you, no one is coming to help. A lot of people who head for Jerusalem never make it. Out of that chaos, one strange idea appears. Around 1119, a French knight named Hugues de Payan gathers 8 other knights, 9 men in total. They make a decision that sounds crazy for the time. They will live like monks, no wives, no personal wealth, strict obedience. But they won't stay locked in a monastery. They'll ride out armed to protect pilgrims. They're given a home in Jerusalem near the ruins of what people believe was King Solomon's temple. From that, they get their name, the poor fellow soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon. The Knights Templar. At first, there's nothing epic about them. They are dirt poor. There's an early image of the order showing 2 knights sharing one horse. That's not symbolism. That's reality. They rely on donations, on leftovers, on old gear nobody else wants. But they do something nobody else is really doing. They ride the same roads as the pilgrims. They escort them. They actually show up where the danger is. Word spreads. Warrior monks, knights who take vows of poverty, soldiers who claim they fight for God, not for loot. People in Europe love this idea. Nobles start donating land, merchants donate money. Even regular people give what they can. Then comes the big upgrade. The church steps in. The Pope officially recognizes the Knights Templar as a religious order. That changes everything. Now, supporting the Templars feels like supporting God's own army. They answer only to the Pope, not to any king. Money and land pour in. By the end of this first act, they're no longer 9 broke knights on borrowed horses. They're a fast-growing power with faith, steel, and more gold. A map of Europe and the Middle East, covered in little Templar symbols. Each symbol is something. A fortress, a farm, a commandery, a safe house for travelers. Their network stretches from England and France all the way to the Holy Land. These places produce food, raise horses, collect rent, store treasure. And out of that network, the Templars build something new for their time. Imagine you're that pilgrim again, but this time you're starting in Paris. You want to go to Jerusalem, but you don't want to carry a bag of gold the whole way. So you walk into a Templar house. You hand over your money. They give you a written note, half receipt, half secret code. You travel. You dodge bandits, you cross seas, you finally reach the Holy Land. You go to a Templar, the battlefield. When the Templars ride into a fight, they're known for one thing. They don't scare easy. Heavy armor, big war horses, white cloaks with red crosses. They have rules like you don't run while the Templar banner is still standing. If one knight charges, others follow. That makes them a terrifying hammer in battle. Even their enemies, like the famous Muslim leader Saladin, respect how hard they fight. But all this success has a side effect. They become independent. Too independent. They answer to the Pope, not to kings. Their land is often tax-free. Their houses are like mini-states with their own rules. For a while, this works. During the height of the Crusades, they're useful. But then history shifts. The Crusader states begin to fall. The Holy Land is eventually lost. The original reason for the order, to protect pilgrims to Jerusalem, starts to weaken. Yet the Templars are still here, still rich, still powerful, still holding land all over Europe. People start asking questions. Why are these poor monks so rich? Why are they so secretive? What exactly happens in their private rituals? What did they really do under the temple in Jerusalem all those years ago? There's no internet, no cameras, no leaked photos. So the gaps get filled with imagination. Stories begin to spread about strange initiation ceremonies, about spitting on the cross, about worshipping a mysterious head or idol, about hidden knowledge and forbidden practices. Is any of it true? Most historians today think the wildest stuff was nonsense, twisted or invented later. But back then, rumor is powerful, and one person in particular finds those rumors very useful. Philip IV, King of France. Philip is smart, ambitious, and always short on cash. Wars cost money. Showing off royal power cost money. He's also taxing his people heavily already. And a lot of his debts? They're to the Templars. So in Philip's eyes, the Templars are two things at once: his bank and a rich, independent group he can't fully control. Now, a combination is dangerous. He can't just let them keep growing. He doesn't want to stay in their debt. So he looks for another option: destroy the order and take what they own. Slowly, quietly, a plan forms. Witnesses are found. Old grudges are dug up. Rumors are shaped into charges. At the same time, Philip puts pressure on the Pope, who at this point is heavily under French influence. The trap is almost ready. On one side, the Knights Templar, wealthy, proud, and increasingly unpopular with some. On the other, a king who owes them money and has the power to turn whispers into evidence. When a king owes you gold, that gives you leverage. When a king starts to fear you, that's when you should worry. It's the early hours of Friday, October 13th, 1307. Across France, as most people sleep, groups of soldiers stand waiting outside Templar buildings. They hold sealed orders. They've been told not to open them until the last minute. A signal is given. The seals are broken. The letters are read. The message is simple: arrest all the Templars. Take everything. What follows is a coordinated strike. Doors are smashed in. Templar knights are dragged from their beds. Chests are cracked open. Documents are seized. They're hit so fast they barely have time to react. Then come the accusations. The Templars, Philip claims, are not defenders of the faith at all. They're heretics. They insult Christ. They spit on the cross during secret rituals. They worship idols. They do things so disturbing that just hearing them makes people sick. In medieval Europe, this isn't just bad PR. This is the kind of thing that gets you killed. Templars are thrown into prisons. Interrogations begin. And in this world, interrogation often means torture. Under pain, people will say almost anything. Some Templars confess. They sign papers saying, yes, they did these horrible things. Do they really believe those confessions? Probably not. But pain doesn't care about truth. Those documents are exactly what Philip needs. Some church leaders outside France doubt the whole thing. But Philip isn't giving up. He keeps pushing the story. He keeps pushing the Pope. Trials are held. More confessions, forced or not, are recorded. In 1312, under heavy pressure, the Pope officially dissolves the Knights Templar. Just like that, after almost 2 centuries, the order is gone on paper. No last glorious charge, no final stand, just paperwork, politics, and fear. Their lands are taken. Much of their wealth is handed to other orders or to the crown. The brotherhood that went from 9 poor knights to a global power is broken apart. But one man remains at the center of the story: Jacques de Molay, the last Grand Master. We're back in Paris, 1314. De Molay and another senior Templar are brought out to die. Earlier, under pressure, they had confessed. Now, in front of everyone, they pull those words back. They say the order is innocent. They say they were forced to lie. That is the last thing Philip wants to hear. He can't risk the Grand Master of the Templars calling the whole thing a sham in public. So, the sentence stands. They're tied to stakes on a little island in the River Seine. The wood is lit. As the fire rises, the story goes that Jacques de Molay calls out. He declares that God will judge the Pope and the King of France for what they've done. Within about a year, both men are dead. Did he really say those exact words? We can't be 100% sure. The account comes later. Did their deaths have anything to do with a curse? Probably not, but it's the kind of detail that sticks. With de Molay's death, the Knights Templar are officially finished. No more order. No more banner. No more white cloaks with red crosses charging into battle. But the story doesn't end there. In some ways, it's just getting started. Over the next centuries, the Templars turn into legends. People say they hid a massive treasure, that they guarded the Holy Grail, that they uncovered dangerous secrets under Solomon's temple, that some of them escaped, went underground, and kept their order alive in secret. Some secret societies claim to be their descendants. Books and movies turn them into keepers of ancient mysteries. In reality, the truth is probably simpler and more brutal. They were men who believed they were serving God. They built a powerful organization that mixed faith, money, and war. They became rich and independent in a world where kings were getting stronger and hungrier. And when their power became inconvenient, a king used fear, rumor, and force to wipe them out. So what were the Knights Templar really? Heroes, villains, victims, maybe a bit of all three. What we do know is this: they rose because people trusted them with their souls and their gold. They fell because someone with more power decided they were worth more dead than alive. 700 years later, we're still talking about them. Not just because of buried treasure and secret codes, but because their story feels familiar. It's a story about belief, about money, about what happens when those two things collide with politics. The Knights Templar are gone, but the forces that created them and destroyed them, those are still very much here.